Hello everybody and welcome to my very first Dark Souls 3 guide and walkthrough. If you're new to this channel, I recently completed a Dark Souls 2 playthrough and this is my second Souls game in the series that I've streamed live on this channel. If you want to see that live, check out the Twitch stream after giving this channel a sweet subscribe, and then be sure to ring that bell for notifications. But today we're going to be talking about how to defeat the twin princes in Dark Souls 3, and it's gonna be a little bit of a melee guide, sorry casters, but it does have some little bits sneaked into there that I think are useful for everybody. So I think if you're new to Dark Souls, this is especially a tough fight. It was for me. I skipped the hours that this took to play through, but I think there's a couple of things that I learned that are useful, especially how to get into the rhythm of the fight. So if you notice that I say this a lot, I'm going to say there's going to be a rhythm to the fight, and this, whether or not you're cheesing the fight or playing it sort of legitimate, I guess, is up to you, but you're going to notice there's a rhythm to it either way. So while this is one of the most challenging bosses, I did not use a cheese to defeat the boss. It can be difficult because of that to get through both phases. You'll learn how to get through the first phase pretty easily, but I'm going to show you a way that makes both phases quite similar to each other so that you're not changing your tactics too much up. It's going to be simply sort of the same thing across the board. You just want to really hone in your skills for that phase too. So to begin with, I recommend looking at early Lorian. His teleports are somewhat hard to predict, but his strikes don't speed up when he does it. So he can do anywhere between 1 to 3 attacks. If you wait, you will notice that his third attack, if he does it on his third attack, or if he does it initially, he's not going to attack any faster, with the exception being the one where he teleports into the sky and comes down. That one can be a bit faster paced. I recommend staying on his backside if you can help it. This will give you the best opportunity to swing once or twice before he starts up again. And if you're lucky, Lorian will just keep up 1 to 2 strikes as long as you stay on that backside. Sometimes he won't even start his combo until he's fully facing you, so you can even sneak in an Estus in there. If you're familiar with Velstadt of Dark Souls 2, while there can be sort of distancing moves and long range moves, these are usually great opportunities for you to get close to them, get behind them, and then start attacking as well. I would usually use that position to use my Estus Flask if needed, but really with these charge attacks, don't be afraid by them. Really, it's just the one that teleporting this guy that would always trip me up. From there, basically, it's a wash, rinse, repeat of those 2 moves. Lastly, when Lorian swings across his body, he does swing high enough for you not to need to dodge as long as you stay close to him. So if you're needing to Estus there, or you want to sneak in an attack, you don't really need to dodge. It's kind of that a crossbody is just high enough as long as you're close to him, and you should basically be rotating around him in a circle, so you'll get used to that rhythm and you'll know that positioning. You'll see it when it happens. To begin the phase 2, however, Lothric and Lorian will begin to combine their moves, the more dangerous being Lorian's teleport, I think, and then with Lothric's spell orbs attacking you periodically. And this is where a lot of players will recommend using the front entrance door actually as a cheese to this fight. If you face that door and then you simply dodge left and right, you can dodge both the spells and the attacks without actually needing to face the boss. You'll simply just dodge left, right, and then attack. My personal issue with this came with Lorian's teleport. I thought it was difficult to see when things happened, and then if he did teleport back or do his long range attack, or if it started up the spell orbs again, it was hard to get a rhythm because you're not really looking at the boss, you're facing away from the boss. And so that was my personal issue with doing a fight just like that. It relied a lot on RNG to basically force the boss to do its melee attacks, and that it would bug out on the teleport and teleport on you, and so it wouldn't work out. It relied too much on an exploit, in my opinion, versus just relying on learning the fight and rolling past it. So My personal preference was kind of just to take my strategy with phase 1, which is kind of rotating around the backside of the boss, away from his sword and to the backside to attack both Lothric and Lorian. During Lorian's charge swing, he does have a follow-up occasionally where he'll swipe to the side. All you have to do is simply dodge twice as opposed to once. I felt that just to be simpler versus doing the other way around. The hardest parts, of course, is that you're having the orbs come at you. I calculated it. I think it's 7 attacks by Lothric and 4 attacks if you're staying melee range with Lorian. So as long as you have enough stamina to get in 7 rolls, just kind of time those rolls, you'll see the rhythm to it of when they attack because they make a distinct sound. It's easy enough to dodge as long as you stay behind Lorian. That's always the goal. Stay behind Lorian, and you should be able to avoid that. While it can be kind of course, like a roll spam, even if you get hit by Lorian's attacks, it's not going to break your poise too much. It's not going to do too much damage. Rather do that versus getting hit by Lothric, which in my case would almost 2-shot me. So it was very dangerous to get hit by Lorian's attacks. And then lastly, if he does teleport in any portion of this, I always recommend just consider it to be the next attack. It's like a simple delayed attack at most, but really the timing should be basically right in line with everything else. If you're going to Estus in this part of the fight, it's harder to Estus in between attacks and staying on the backside. I recommend just backing off a little bit and then Estusing, because like even if you get a little spell cast at you, you can simply dodge that. They're not very mobile, so it's much easier to attack them that way. And so my last little Pestilent Mist here was kind of like my finisher here. I used the Pestilent Mist personally as like, I didn't want to get close, or it's just easy way to keep away distance. They're kind of in that Pestilent Mist, and it was like kind of like my little version of a cheese. But if you are a spellcaster, of course, distance is going to be your main difficulty here. And that is my guide on how to defeat the Twin Princess on Dark Souls 3. If the guide helped, feel free to give your video a like and comment if you made it to the end on what you like and disliked about Twin Princess. Thank you.